Please. Oh, please, stop. Please, stop. No.
Over here, you freak!
Don't hurt him.
The Golgotha virus, known as the G-virus for short, was a biological agent developed by the Umbrella Corporation. Umbrella stood tall in order to create countermeasures that would surpass the tyrant virus. Back in 1998, we saw the effects of the T-virus plaguing the Spencer Mansion as pathogens began to infect. Bugs, people, and fauna started rapidly transforming at alarming degrees. Both projects were dissimilar, yet they originated from the progenitor virus, which was a grand foundation for Oswald E. Spencer. William Birkin made a breakthrough in the year 1988 with a test subject called Lisa Trevor. This emaciated being was treated like a viral cocktail, a bodily tornado that began repairing cell damage repeatedly. Theoretically, this meant that the dead could be revived from heavy damage if they were infected by the G-virus. I will say that this situation is governed by the fact that G-zombies do exist, unable to mutate beyond this desecrated form. William Birkin got increasingly paranoid as time went on. He believed that his research would eventually be apprehended by Umbrella and sold for the highest bidder. This suspicion only got worse when Umbrella refused to give William an executive seat within the company. Birkin, losing his patience, stole various samples for himself and tried to make one final escape from the city. He negotiated a protection deal with the United States military in exchange for family safety. Birkin began some corporate sabotage, which started at the dead factory, but it wasn't long before the USS was sent to do some recon of their own. Umbrella forces caught onto Williams' plea bargain via illegal wiretapping. Eventually, they formulated a plan to cut off the rogue scientist within an underground lab. Hunk's men then ordered William to hand over the sample until an accident occurred where he knocked over a container. Then this resulted in William being shot with a hail of bullets. If you played the remake, then this scene is different because Birkin decides to pull a gun, which wasn't the smartest idea on planet Earth. A symptom known as G cells swarm all over the bloodstream as they attempt to replicate throughout the body. An asymmetrical growth will occur at the injection point, which explains why Birkin's arm is dramatically bigger in his G1 form. If a ligament is burnt, shot, bruised, or damaged, then the recoded DNA should repair the immediate injury. It doesn't come without a cost, since the rewritten DNA causes the bones, head, and organs to relocate upon further damage. I'll try my best to summarize the transformations that William Birkin goes through in the best possible way here. G1 looks like the most humanoid form of them all, except there's this gigantic goddamn eyeball that is front and center on the right arm. There's a large slice of bone shifting through the right shoulder blade as a new mutation takes hold. Muscle mass just explodes at the ejection point here. It's very disturbing stuff that leaves you with nightmares for eternity. With G2, a new head means a new brain. Therefore, Birkin's original face is shifting right into his chest, which is not a pretty sight. Various elongated talons just explode along the right arm, making a deadly claw for Birkin to utilize against prey. The legs have now become bloated with muscle during this new imbalance. With G3, okay, I know what's on your mind with this one. This is where all the human traits came to die. Birkin turns into a giant charcoal behemoth as blood vessels darken even more. The vestigial limbs have now turned into a quad of arms, and it has these quad of arms to accompany cutting and all these sort of nasty things against human flesh. Two of them now have massive claws on the receiving end of these said vestigial limbs. The teeth now formulate into the chest, giving a subtle clue about the next transformation. G4 puts puts Birkin into a quadruped stance, almost like a dog in a way. The exterior maw that erupts from the chest has now turned into protruding fangs. These fangs could tear a human being apart in one vicious bite. The chest face has now completely vanished from this picture, along with the inner arms being a bit smaller. G5 is the most damaged state involving Birkin's G infection. The body is lost to a mass of muscle, bone cartilage, and skin trying to frantically repair the damage. It's a hideous blob form that has a mouth pustule at center mass. It uses two long tendrils so it can pull itself deeper within something like a train car. This thing is an abhorrent mess, and it is the final state of G. The Golgotha infection can be transmitted two ways. Either it's through an injection of chemicals after it was kept in cold storage, or through the reproduction cycle that inhabits all living G creatures. G-embryos are an example of what happens when an organism is trying to pass off its offspring to the next available host. This involves shoving an embryo down the throat so the host can become infected. If G is accepted or rejected, then a variety of things can happen. Number 1, if a full G virus dose is given to a host, then they have the capability to unlock further mutation. This was evidenced by people like William Birkin and Curtis Miller. This capability could also occur if the next of kin is infected with a G larvae. Number 2, if the embryo fully rejects the host, then it would tear out of their chest, killing them in the process. This was seen with Ben Bertolucci and Brian Irons.
My chest! It's burning! What's wrong? My chest can't take the pain!
Number 3, if the embryo doesn't find a human host, then they will evolve into a mature state where they are seen as big hulking creatures. We call this stage G-adults. Their sole purpose is still the same: vomit out larvae and impregnate potential victims. The difference here lies in the fact that they cannot advance past this state as a G-adult. Basically, they are stuck at this level as far as the evolutionary gene pool is concerned. Number 4, as I said earlier, if the G-embryo gets into a dead body, then it's very possible to resuscitate that body into its own kind of zombie, repairing cells along the way. We saw this in Resident Evil 2 Remake, where Annette burned a zombie because it presented a clear danger. There are two things that are clear: the G cells will always resemble pink fleshy skin from an outward position. We also have to remember that G will erupt eyeballs from the body, which is a common trait for this retrovirus. The Golgotha virus does have a counter to its entire formula. The vaccine is codenamed as Devil. One fatal flaw with G is that the cells from the host has to be taken over from a full molecular state. It's easy to process that taking over the genome takes a long time. Sherry Birkin's infection was a slow, painful symptom. This gave Claire Redfield enough time to organize a cure from Umbrella's workstation. Using a base vaccine cart, and using an activation machine sealed the deal. The G virus still exists within cured patients despite the unique antibodies. These antibodies stop mutation, however, regeneration of the DNA will still carry over. This means that Sherry Birkin is able to maintain her human form without G cells morphing her into a monster. This doesn't mean that any infected patient is free from G in their bloodstream. There are benefits because this means that any grievous wounds will be healed immediately, as shown in Resident Evil 6. RE6 also illustrated that anyone who is cured after G infection would become immune to any other virus. The G virus is able to create a new life form from an infected host, triggering the process of evolution. Therefore, organisms infected with the G virus, commonly known as G organisms, are gifted with fertility, unlike zombies. In other words, G organisms leave behind subsequent second generation offspring. This is a terrifying thing. G virus breathes back the stolen fire of life, creating new life. For that reason, it can be said there's higher precautions that needs to be put in place compared to the T-virus. The biological effects will deteriorate intelligence at a rapid pace. Linguistic abilities will disappear within a matter of days. After that, any reasoning or humanity is clearly thrown out of the window. G was based on pure instinct, driven by the need to survive and reproduce. Accelerated cell division also means that it can adapt to any kind of environment. This means that high heat or cold temperatures wouldn't do any damage to any kind of G creature. We never seen G spread into a citywide outbreak, and there's a reason for that. The Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance will automatically raise to level 10 alert if there is a G virus outbreak. In order to put this in layman's terms, that means that shit will hit the fan with multiple branches of the BSAA being needed to contain the virus. They deem this infection as anomalous and unpredictable from the breeding rate alone. If the breeding rate is only first generation larvae, then they'll only send in the local branch. If it's beyond third generation breeding, then an entire firing squad will rain hell upon the city. Despite not being able to control the G virus like T, it was available on the black market at one point. Raymond Vester and the BSAA now own samples of this virus. There's also an offshoot mixture that was created called the C virus. C virus was a mixture of flame combustion and regeneration to form stronger creatures via cocooning. C is a mixture of Manuela's T Veronica blood and the G virus blood that was taken from Sherry Birkin. Curtis Miller also turned into something new with the G virus, as he turned into a hulking monstrosity that looked like a lizard with its unique DNA. His skull is equivalent to something that Master Chief teabag for an hour, so I mean, that's what you get. You get different mutations even if you took a raw dose of the G virus. This means that raw G evolution might have similar properties, but every creature isn't the same strictly based on DNA. This is one of the most volatile viruses in the series, and it's no wonder that the BSAA takes it so seriously. Either way, this is the end of the video. My name is Renegade Operative and I am signing off. Tell me what you thought in the comment section below about the G virus, Birkin's rampant mutations, what you thought of the G creatures, G adults, G larvae. Let's talk all things G virus in the comment section below. Let me know if it's your favorite, least favorite. Tell me right front and there. I will let you guys know that my social media is in the description below, so you can add me, follow me on Discord, all that stuff. Jump at my survival horror Discord. Let's talk Resident Evil, let's talk shop, you know what I mean. Like the video, share, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot with making content, making sure that it's top tier is always good, the discussions are always nice, and that the scripts are always like immaculate, you know what I mean. So that lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Be safe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, try not to get stalked and beaten with a pipe by William Birkin around the next corner. I'll see you guys next time. Later.